Well, hi there, this is Ina from Taproot Tarot, and today I have a VR for you to Luna of Water Moon cards, and the tag is Divination Goals, and these are some of my intentions for 2026. I'll link back to her original video because it's really good. I'll make it a little bit quick. I did wake up feeling a little under the weather this morning, but I wanted to set some New Year's intentions for my tarot practice and my channel. One thing I'd like to get into is more activities with tarot. And Amay the Grey has been posting some really great videos on ways to interact with our tarot decks. So I'll be following some of those suggestions, as well as suggestions from people like Lady Cara and Tammy Pie, who have suggested some tarot games, things like that. I did just order a book from, I'm not remembering the name of the book or the author. It's a philosopher. I did find the author's Instagram, so I will link that for you. But it's a very cool book, it looks like, on asking your cards questions using the Socratic method. He had another word for it, but I'm more familiar with it as a Socratic salon or forum, something like that, which really has its roots in yogic writing. But I look forward to this book about methodically asking my deck questions. And I'd like to post a little bit more about activities, maybe readings. I'm not sure exactly what that'll look like, but that's definitely an intention that I have. I'm not super big into sharing my personal readings or into doing general readings. Tarot activities might be a better solution to that. Maybe some practice readings. I've done those in the past with my 1,000 Questions book, and those are really fun. I definitely want to post more, maybe photos or even shorts and reels, kind of showcasing some spreads and some of my cards. One thing the Drop 'em 78 challenge has taught me was how to more efficiently create shorter form content, which is really nice because these longer videos are a bit of a production, so it'll be nice if I can share without going through all of that every single time. I had meant to mention a couple of books that I'm looking forward to coming out later this year. The first one I think comes out in February, and it's by Laura Tempest Zakroff, called Tarot by Tempest. And if you've seen my butterfly book tag video, which I will put in the description, you might remember that I'm a big fan of her work. Later in the video, I'll mention how I've noticed there's a conflation between witchcraft and paganism and ceremonial magic, which can be one type of witchcraft, but there's also a whole world of more practical, less structured, such as folk witchcraft or chaos magic. And I think those are more in line with Laura Tempest Zakroff's practice, although off the top of my head, I can't remember how exactly she identifies. But the subheading of this book is Playing with Numbers, Meaning, and Movement. How cool does that sound? And the beautiful cover makes me wonder if she'll also be releasing a deck to go with it, such as her previous Oracle decks. The other one is The Diviner's Path by Joanna Ferrer, a nature-led approach to divination with tarot, runes, and pendulums. All of my favorite things. I'm so excited about this. I started with runes back in the 90s, at a time when tarot didn't resonate with me. I have since picked up tarot, of course, and would really like to incorporate pendulums more, and have been working to do so. A nature-led approach, what more could you ask for? So this one I believe doesn't come out till June, and I've already got that pre-ordered. I was also looking forward to a new book by Esther Frankel-Tishman called Tarot Bones, although I noticed that once she embarked upon her cross-country trek on foot, the pre-order page to that on Llewellyn no longer appears. My guess is that her Liberty Walk maybe postponed that book. Hopefully it'll still be upcoming at some point. I had definitely intended to include these in this video, so here they are added after the fact. And I have been leaning more toward more folk practices. I've always rejected the more ceremonial magic or so-called high magic kind of approach to the cards. For myself personally, in the past, that's been very gate-kept and not really the card reading of the people. Nowadays, it's much more accessible and speaks to a lot of people. So I'm not denigrating those approaches for everybody at all, for folks who do relate to them, but they're not for me. And I think there is a bit of a conflation with witchcraft and witchy practices and tarot with the more ceremonial magic kind of philosophies, which include Wicca, which is more structured and systematic. But I really vibe more with less formal, more practical approaches like folk magic and chaos magic, which do not involve necessarily paganism or any particular spirituality or deity at all. Plenty of more folk practitioners practice no religion or any of the Abrahamic religions, including Christianity, or any form of paganism. For me personally, I don't have a deist worldview. I like learning about deities, and I think they're very real to the extent that anything is real. and very important to our history. And for folks who work with deities actively, I think that's super cool. For me personally, I have a more animist worldview, and I'd like for my tarot practice to reflect that. I do have some books that address that a lot, but I've just grabbed a few examples. Here's one, Patrick Dunn. Now, this is intended for tarot readers who want to delve into Lenormand and other cartomantic traditions. The important part of this book for me is the philosophy of it, and it talks about the classism and misogyny inherent in ceremonial so-called high magic and that approach to the tarot cards, and how it's more of a people's approach to bring in the more practical approaches. That's one of the many books on my TBR pile though, so still gotta delve into that one. I'm really enjoying The Modern Fortune Teller's Field Guide by Tom Benjamin. I always have so many books going at the same time, so I'm still working on it, but it's so good and definitely addresses a lot of that subject matter as well. Another one, which I haven't read yet, is The Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling. And this is by Paulina Stevens and Jezmina von Thiele, and I will link their Instagram profiles as well. But I do have a goal of placing less emphasis on kind of those old elites, a lot of whom really disparaged Atea, for example, just for being a working class person. And, you know, he was learning from other working class people, marginalized cartomancers, and he was really derided by later tarot writers because of that. Which doesn't mean that we can't learn valuable things from those tarot writers, but they do come from a more elitist perspective, and I'd like to emphasize more populist perspectives. So as I make my way through those books, you'll be hearing about them more. Tom Benjamin mentioned maybe doing a book club for his book, and I'm super excited. I hope that happens. I will definitely participate. Oh, and I am coming out of a 5-month period of no buy. I did find a little loophole where I bought something on behalf of Santa Claus so that I could put it in my stocking, and that is the Othrisian Tarot. And I will do a walkthrough of this because this looks so cool. And I want to tell you also about a gift my son gave to me. This is so cute. He doesn't know anything about tarot. So he saw these pendants, which I'm sure we've all seen, and I'm sure many of us have them. And he didn't know which one to get me. So here he is, knowing nothing about tarot, taking out his phone in the middle of a store and looking at meanings of all these tarot pendants, which I thought was so sweet. And the reason he got me the Magician is because he considers me to be capable and resourceful. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing, and I had to share that with you. This wasn't as structured and well thought out as I was hoping it would be, but those are a few of my intentions for 2026, and I look forward to sharing those with you throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Happy New Year, and I will see you next time. Bye!